Okay, there we go. I believe it should be maybe sort of kind of going live soon here. Let's see. Setting up meeting. And all right. Are we live? Believe. Oh man, I'm hearing myself echo. That is really creepy. All right. So I believe and I think that we are live here inside the affiliate franchise. Give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay to let me know when you're watching this. Give me the hashtag mob if you're part of the infamous mob as usual. And I am here with Mr. Dakota King, but real quick check. I'm going to see and make sure that we are actually live because I'm really bad at tech. For everybody who's in this group and knows and been watching for a while, you know I'm terrible at this stuff. So let me mute this and just make sure. It looks like there are 5 people watching. It looks like the live chat is going. Hashtag live, hashtag replay to let me know when you're watching this, because if you comment hashtag replay, then our guys can get to you and get to your questions, even if you're not watching live. So it's really, really important that you do that. All right. So I am here, like I said, I am here with the infamous, actually the famous, he's not infamous, he's famous, the famous and wonderful and amazing, fantastic Dakota King, super affiliate coach to the best of them all, and a Facebook marketing expert. I see this guy every single day. Before I introduce him and he tells you his story, I'm going to tell you my story of how I actually discovered Dakota, and it was pretty crazy. So you guys know I've been doing affiliate marketing coaching almost 5 years now. I came home from doing 7 years in prison, starting all the way back in 2012, came home in 2019, started my affiliate marketing business. I didn't make a dime for the first 8 months. I was struggling. I kept pounding my head against that wall. And fast forward to today, we here at the affiliate franchise, we've now grown into this big mentorship company. We just crossed our first 6-figure month. It blew my freaking mind. And looking back on it now, it's like, what a journey. And so that time was really, really wonderful. And it had a lot of ups and downs. And I'm sure Dakota can share with us a lot of his ups and downs too, because a lot of times the gurus will share with you the big highlights, but they won't share with you the downside. They won't share with you the hard days, the stuff that was tough. So the way that I discovered Dakota is a friend of mine came to me and said, there's this guy and he's like stealing your whole act. First of all, I didn't believe he was stealing my act. No, first of all, there's that. But I was intrigued. It said, oh, he's got like prison to passion. Sorry, prison to passion. That's the slogan, right?
Prison to purpose.
Prison to purpose. So it was like, this guy's just like you. First of all, I was intrigued. So I had to go to this guy's profile. I had to go over to Facebook, check him out. And he's nothing like me. He's actually really awesome. So I was like, hey, this guy's really cool. I was like, I don't like a whole lot of people, but I messaged Dakota. He seemed really cool. He seemed down to earth. And most importantly, he knows his stuff. When it comes to coaching, affiliate marketing, marketing on Facebook, marketing on any platform, the guy has dedicated himself. The same with my story of pulling himself from prison and all the way from the bottom, building himself from his bootstraps all the way up. And he also never gave up. And I want him to come on here, share his story, share his ups and downs, and explain to you guys and show you guys, hey, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. But it just takes that tough mentality of like persevering. And I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to pass it over to Dakota here. Dakota, tell your story. Tell everybody here about who you are and what you're all about.
All right. Hey, you guys, what is going on? If you're watching this live, make sure to comment hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, make sure to comment hashtag replay. So my name is Dakota King. I am a high-ticket organic marketing coach for affiliates. And I've been doing this for about 3 years now. Not as long as Joel, but I first got started in this, just to give you guys a little bit of backstory. Yes, I have been to prison, just like Joel. We both come from that background and everything. Got into a bunch of trouble when I was in high school, ended up getting a 10-year prison sentence. I did 6 years, and then I finally got released and I was able to come home, right? And, I did a lot of work on myself when I was in there, right? I got into personal development, started reading a bunch of books. First book that changed my life was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I love that book because it just showed me that that anybody can be successful, right? If you know the right process and you know, you really dedicate yourself to doing that, and you make that decision to change your life, right? So I got into personal development. That was the first book I read. I read a tons more of them throughout my time, and I just dedicated myself from that point to becoming the best that I could be, right? Because in school, I never learned those types of principles that I learned in that book or anything like that. So when I stumbled across it, I really wanted to learn more. I don't know about you guys, but I never wanted to learn nothing in school. Like, I hated school, right? But I love learning in these books, especially, you know, how to be successful. Started reading books on business and everything like that. And I made a decision that when I get out, I was going to start my own business, right? And I was planning on getting into real estate. So fast forward 4 years later, after, you know, reading that book, I finally got out. And when I was looking to get into real estate when I first got out here, right? And I was doing some course by Robert Kiyosaki, and he does email marketing. Now, I didn't know that it was email marketing at the time. I was just getting emails from him every week where he was saying like cool stuff, right? And I was like, man, this is really cool. Send me an email, said, you know, click here to learn how to build a passive income asset, everything like that. So I clicked on it. I watched a webinar, took me to a page, landing page, and I ended up buying a $1,000 course on email marketing and how to build a funnel and launch your first funnel and everything like that, right? So I did that, and that was my first introduction into affiliate marketing. Now, I had never known what affiliate marketing was before. Didn't, you know, I had no clue, right? So I started out with zero knowledge, just total newbie. Right. And this course that I bought, I thought I was going to start making money right away. You know, I was like, oh, yeah, I spent $1,000. Like, this is going to be it. This is everything right here. I'm going to start, you know, making thousands of dollars in the next, you know, 3 to 6 months. Right. Whatever it was. I was sadly disappointed. Because, you know, I built my funnel. I built the landing page. I went on ClickBank and I found a product to promote. And I was sending out emails, and the next problem is that people were opening my emails, but nobody was buying, right? Nobody was buying. And I was, you know, trying to figure out, how do I make this work? How do I make people buy? They're opening the emails. I tried tweaking the funnel, you know, redoing the hook, the story, the offer, all of that. Still didn't work. And this went on for a period of like 12 months. I joined another program during that time, which I thought was going to help me, but it ended up basically being about the same thing: more funnels, more emails, basically the same stuff. And I went through that, tried implementing that, and that didn't work either. So this went on for 12 months, and I did not make any money. I made a few sales with this $7 thing that I was promoting, but the commissions were like $2.80. I remember that was my first commission. It was $2.80. It was, but that's really nothing, right? I mean, I was happy that I made my first commission, but $2.80 is not no life-changing money, right? So I knew something needed to change, and so I ended up talking to somebody on Facebook that I came across, who was doing high-ticket affiliate marketing. And I had already wanted to get into high-ticket affiliate marketing. I just didn't know what products there were out there, right? So I talked to somebody, and I told them, hey, look, I'm struggling with my emails, my autoresponder, my funnel. It's not converting. My emails are not converting. And he basically introduced me to organic Facebook marketing, right? And he said, well, hey, did you know that you don't have to use a funnel. You don't have to send out emails every day. And you can just use your Facebook profile, and you can sell a product that pays you over, you know, $500 or $1,000 or more. And once he said that, I was sold. I was like, what? I could do that? Yes, that sounds amazing. Like, I just need my Facebook profile. I don't need to pay for these funnel builders and email autoresponders, paying for ads, because I spent about $2,000 on ads. And that was the point when I got into organic Facebook marketing. Right. And so I jumped into another program that taught organic Facebook marketing on Facebook. And I learned, you know, marketing, content marketing, sales, how to have conversations, build relationships with people, build a personal brand, and sell high ticket offers. Right. So as soon as I got into that, I loved it, right? It was the strategy just worked. I felt like it was working a lot better for me. I felt like I was making more momentum, and I was actually learning marketing and sales skills. So fast forward 3 months down the line, after it was about 6 to 8 weeks. That's not 3 months. That's about 2 or 3 months. So after I went through the course, it was like a 6 to 8 week course. 1 month after that, I made my first 10K. I made my first 10K selling high ticket products, and I was mind blown that it actually happened. All right, that was the most money I've ever made, and it was a great feeling, right? So after that, I decided I wanted to, like, I've learned the process, right? I made some money, and I had helped quite a few people along that way. You know, there was a lot of times when I was giving away, just free value and just helping people and hopping on calls and showing people what I do. And some people signed up with me, right? And that's how I made my first 10K. And after that, I decided to start my own program and build out my own coaching business, because I had learned the process of marketing and selling on Facebook, right? It's actually very simple, right? It's actually very simple. So I knew that I just had to repeat and replicate that over and over, and I can go on to make multiple 10K months. So that's what I did, right? Next month after that was another 10K month, and then another 10K month, and another 10K month. And just this last year, I've scaled to over 100 and over 6 figures. I made over 100,000, and it's continuing to grow more and more ever since then. So that's where I'm at today. And I run my own coaching business. I was able to transition from a high ticket affiliate into a coach for affiliates. And now I teach my clients how to sell high ticket products, how to market and sell on Facebook using content, right? Posting 3 times per week, and, building relationships, building a personal brand, and having conversations that actually convert. And that's a little bit about my journey. It's a little bit about my journey. And I know what you guys may be thinking. You may be thinking like, is this guy telling the truth? Like, who is this guy? He's got like all these tattoos and this big crazy beard. And you guys are probably thinking that, I should be having a 2 comma club award and drive a Ferrari, right? But I don't have none of those things. But what I do have is I do have time for everybody that wants to work with me, or that I choose to work with, right? And although I may look like, like I told you guys, I went to prison and I've got this beard and I've got these tattoos, and you're probably like, oh, well, who is this guy? Like I said, I've spent years doing personal development, improving myself, my mindset. And I think that was the core of what really allowed me to set myself up for success before I got out, right? There was a lot of mindset work that I had to go through. Just being in prison, right? And being in there really helped me develop my mindset, because, you have to maintain a strong mindset in there, right? Or otherwise, it can get pretty tough, because you're stuck in there literally all day, 24/7. And, so I just focused on improving myself. And, one thing I know is that when you make a committed decision, that's when your life changes, right? Sometimes it can take us 2, 3, 5, 10 years for things to change, but it doesn't take 5 or 10 years to change our life, because our life changes in a moment when we make a committed decision to do something different. And that's what I did, right? And today, that's a little bit about where I'm at.
I love that story. I got chills when he said, when Dakota said that first 10K month, and mind you, my favorite part of that 10K month was the 12 plus months before that, when he was saying, I tried this way, and I tried this way, and I tried this way. Who and where? I want you guys to ask yourself, who and where would Dakota be right now had he given up? Like most people in affiliate marketing, let's be honest, 80, maybe 90% people start today. They try for 2, 3 months, throw their hands up in the air and say, oh, it's a scam. I hate it. It doesn't work, blah, 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 right? We all probably know that person, or maybe we've even been that person, right? Maybe you're here now trying again. Dakota went through those lumps. He took his hits, he took downs, and he said, this has got to work. He didn't have the mentality of, I hope this works. He said, it is going to work at some point. I'm going to keep doing this until it works. Until. That's the most powerful word there is in business. I'll keep doing it until. Not if, not hope, not kinda, not maybe. He had both feet in and he was all in. And that's why he's sitting here today with us. And he's going to get that 2 comma club. There is going to be a 2 comma club in the back there. I fully 1,000% believe that because of that mentality. And I want to touch base on that because that mindset is I tell my guys all the time, mindset is like 99% of this. Tactics, strategies, we can teach that all day long, but the wrong mindset, you're guaranteed to fail. Give us something. Give us the juice right here. What kind of advice do you give on the mindset part, how you have to think, how you have to approach this?
Yeah, would love to. And you know that this is something that I really push to my clients as well is the mindset, right? It's the most important thing because it's either going to make you or break you, literally, right? It'll either make you or break you, you know, because I see so many people who want to do this, but then, you know, like you said, 2, 3, 4 months pass by, no results, and like, oh, you know, this isn't for me or whatever it is. You know, for me, when I started this, I knew that it was going to happen, and I knew that I was going to do it, and I knew that I was going to make money and be successful with it. It wasn't a question of oh, if I do, or you know, it was just a matter of when, right? Because I knew that I was going to keep doing it until it happened, right? Just like when I was in prison, my mindset was, you know, I'm gonna keep improving myself in here, and I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do until I get out, right? I'm gonna get out though, you know, like it's having a vision and sticking to it, right? No matter what happens or what challenges get in your way. And you know, a lot of the times when we're doing affiliate marketing, when you join a program, when you get coaching, here's where your mindset can really hold you back because, you know, like Joel said, we can teach you marketing, we can teach you sales all day. But the reason why we need to work on our mindset daily is because, you know, if I tell you to do something, or if somebody else tells you to do something, or like, hey, here's the system, here's the process, everybody is going to have limiting beliefs around certain things, right? And this is where, you know, mindset work comes into play, because I may tell you like, hey, yeah, post content and, you know, go live once a week or every now and then, right? And then boom, now you'll have a limiting belief pop up. Oh, well, I'm not good on camera. Oh, well, I've never done that before, or whatever it is. And it could be around talking with people. It could be around putting yourself out there. But we have these limiting beliefs that pop up, and where we tell ourselves, oh, I've never done that before. I don't have any experience. I don't have any authority. I don't know how to do that. Like, oh, I'm scared to put myself out there, right? And a lot of the time, programs and coaches and courses that are out there don't know how to deal with that, right? How to deal with those limiting beliefs that pop up when, you know, you're shown how to do a certain thing, right? And, you know, maybe you can just implement like a boss, and we tell you what to do, and you just go do it. That's great. But for most people, right, you know, we all have limiting beliefs pop up around certain things. Like when I had somebody tell me, hey, Dakota, you need to share your story. What I was like, I had a limiting belief pop up and say, oh, well, what are people going to think of me? Like, what if people judge me? What if people, you know, throw a lot of hate at me online and everything like that, right? That was my limiting belief. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know, should I put my story out there? But then I decided, you know what, I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm just going to do it, right? And I actually ended up doing a post, and I shared my story, and I was just waiting there thinking like, oh man, there's going to be a bunch of negative comments right now. And then comments started flooding in, and I was like, oh, I knew it. And then I checked them, and it was just a bunch of love from people saying like, oh my God, you're so inspiring, this and that. And it wasn't even what I expected, right? I was like, oh man, this is cool. And so I realized that, you know, a lot of times we can get in our own way because, you know, of the limiting beliefs that pop up. So, you know, working on mind, I think if you can just make a committed decision to be successful with affiliate marketing and just stick to that, then you can get through it and you can make it, right? But the mindset needs to be that like this is happening. It needs to be like as if it's already done, right? Like you can see it, like you can see it, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can hold it in the palm of your hand, even when you don't have it. And and keep working until you get it, right? Like that's the mindset. That's the mindset. You know, when I first started this, I already saw myself as being successful. I already saw myself, you know, making money and doing all that. I didn't have it, right? I didn't have it, but I had it within me, right? Like I had it within me. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Kind of like when I was in prison, I was free in my mind and like I had my freedom, but my physical reality was not, it wasn't there yet, right? But my mind was free, you know? So I already had it in my mind, just not physically yet, but I was working towards that, if that makes sense.
Guys, I want you to really hone in and pay attention here. And I tell you guys all the time, they say success is a process. I don't believe that. It's a decision. You make the decision to become successful. What a lot of people's natural tendencies are, what we're all taught, what we're all conditioned to, is that I'll believe it when I see it. We wait. I'll believe it when I see it. To truly be successful, like Dakota's talking about, once he read that book, once he read, what was the book again? I was going to say Rich Dad
Think and
Poor
Grow
Dad.
Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. That's my book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. But he read Think and Grow Rich, which is another freaking amazing book. But he decided at that point. He believed it before he saw it. And there, trust me, guys, Dakota could probably vouch for this. There's nothing more awkward than walking around being like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have my own business. And you're flat broke. And you're everyone in the world, your mom, your dad are like looking at you like, what's wrong with this person? Why are they so weird? You know, but we didn't care. Dakota, I know, didn't care. He believed it in his heart and his mind and his soul. He knew it was going to happen. You guys have to adopt that same mentality. If you're going to be successful, that's the mentality you have to adopt. People will ridicule you. They'll think you're stupid. They'll laugh. They'll, oh, that's a silly dream, whatever. So what? So what? You're going to prove them wrong at some point. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
It's happening to me right now.
Yeah.
It's happening for Dakota. He's able to now, I mean, we don't shove it in people's faces, but I know it's happening with him. It's like, I can't believe he did it. He always knew he was going to do it, guys. He always knew. All right, Dakota, do you have any parting words or final advice for the guys here?
Yeah, you know, just commenting back off of what you said right there is, you know, just knowing that you can do it. It reminded me of a quote that I read by Martin Luther King when I read this book called The Secret. But it says something along the lines of Martin Luther King said, you know, you don't have to see the whole staircase, right? You just have to take the first step in faith, right? And that quote has always stuck with me. I absolutely love it because it's just so true, right? Because there's so many times when I would, you know, try to see the whole staircase, like plan it all out and figure everything out and know exactly how it's going to work before I start doing anything. But the truth is that there never is a perfect time where I figure it all out or I have the perfect plan, right? Like the only time is time to take action, right? Time to take action and just do it, and the rest will figure out along the way, right? So, you know, when you commit to doing something, you don't have to know how to do it. You just have to make the commitment and you'll figure it out along the way. And it reminds me a lot of that quote, you know, that you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take that first step and take action in faith, knowing that it's going to happen, knowing that you're headed that way, right? Knowing that it's there, right? You just got to take those steps towards it, even if you don't know how. And yeah, other than that, like this is possible. This is possible for anybody. Like if I can go to prison, you know, not go to college. I didn't graduate high school, none of those things. And I can get out and I can do this. And Joel, same thing, like 7 years in prison to getting out here and running up 6 figures in a matter of, you know, a year or less, or however long it took. Anybody can do this, right? Anybody can do this. The difference is that there's some people who just want to change. Like they just want to change. You know, there's the people out there who say, oh yeah, well, I want this. And I want that, and I want to be able to build my business, and I want to be able to, you know, have financial freedom and quit my 9-to-5, and I want to be able to build a business. And then there's people who need to change, right? I'm somebody who needs to change. Joel's somebody who needs to change. Like it was a necessity to change, right? Because to go from prison, not a lot of people go from prison to becoming successful in any capacity, right? It can be pretty difficult, right? So, we needed to change, right? We needed to change. It could not stay the same, right? So it wasn't a matter of questioning doing the work or this. It was, hey, I'm going to do this. Right. It was a committed decision, a committed mindset, because we needed to make something change. Right. And the people who achieve success are the people who need to change, not the people who want to change.
I love that. You guys, we're gonna part out of here. We're gonna get out of here. But before Dakota goes here, I want to make one final statement. You guys know that I'm very, very careful with who I vouch for. A lot of gurus that I've run across, I just don't like how they put marketing, they put money in front of people. Dakota is nothing like that. That's one thing that struck me about you, Dakota. That's one thing that I really liked about you and admired. You always put people first. You always go out of your way to help people, like, even if they don't pay you. Like, it's something that I've seen so many marketers do. They have this like paywall, they don't give you anything. Dakota goes out of his way, he helps people. The people that are in his program are doing fantastic because he goes out of his way to really help people. He knows that the value you get in return in life is proportionate to the value that you give out. That's the golden rule. That's the secret, quote unquote, that there is in all business, not just affiliate marketing. And he's understood that from the beginning, is I have to give people value. I have to go out of my way for people. And so, Dakota, where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they learn more about you? Give your, pitch and
Yeah, for sure. Just real quick, I want to say something off the back end of what you just said there is, yeah, always give value. Like, don't be one of those people that holds back because of the fact that somebody's not, going to pay you or anything like that. Like, just always give, right? Just always give. And it comes back, right? It comes back increased a lot, right? And that is the only reason that I am here where I am today, is that I was willing. Here's the principle, right? Is always do more work than what you are paid for. Always do more work than what you are paid for, because then you will be paid. Eventually, you will be paid more for the little bit of work that you do, but you have to put in that work starting out. And so many of us have grown up with the mindset of, I'm not going to do nothing for you until you pay me, right? I'm not going to work any overtime until you pay me. I'm not going to do, these extra things and sweep up and all that until you pay me, right? That's a terrible mindset to have, because it's always just going to keep you at an average income. If you want to be good, then do extra work without being paid, every now and then. If you want to be great, do more work than what you're paid for 7 days a week, right? Yeah,
I love that.
And
I love that.
yeah, but that's a principle. Is always do more than you are paid for. There's a thing called the law of increasing returns, which means that you will always get back 100-fold of what you put in. Just like when you plant a seed, it grows into hundreds of seeds. But it only works and is triggered when you go through a period of time when you put in more work than what you are paid for. And then at a certain point, there's like this tipping point when things switch, and then success stops being incremental and it starts becoming exponential. And then there's this huge curve that just shoots you up there. So yeah, that's something I want to leave with you guys. Other than that, you can find me on, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok. I am not really on Instagram, although I have an account. But if you want to find me, just search me up on Facebook. That's where I'm always at. Just type in Dakota King. And if you want to learn a little bit more about, what I teach and what I do and go a little bit more in depth, I do run a free 5-day challenge every single month. I've got one coming up this month on June 26th. So if you would like more details on that, then you can go ahead and search me up and go ahead and send me a message.
Guys, super appreciate and love Dakota King for coming out here. And we want to definitely give him another #mob down in the comment section down below to and let him know we appreciate him. Give him hearts, give him everything, because he did not have to do this, guys. He has a really, really busy schedule, and he came out and shared some love with us, shared some knowledge. So please give him that appreciation. We're going to head out of here. Thank you guys for coming out. I'm the infamous Joel. That's Dakota King, and we're out.
See you guys.